What if the world's noise, its demands, its judgments, its relentless push for conformity, slid off you like water off a blade? What if your strength wasn't measured by applause or titles, but by the unyielding clarity of your own mind? What if you moved through life not chasing validation, but forging your own path with a quiet, unshakable resolve? This is the psyche of a Sigma male, a man who thrives outside the hierarchy, unbound by the rules that cage others. Welcome to Sigma Male Community, where we strip away the myths and dive deep into the raw mechanics of a mindset built for independence, mastery, and relentless self-sovereignty. Today we're breaking down the 11 pillars that define the Sigma psyche, a blueprint for men who choose to live by their own code, not society's script. If you're ready to understand the silent power that sets these men apart, stick with us. This is going to hit hard. 1. The unshakable inner compass. The Sigma male doesn't wake up craving approval or permission. His decisions aren't swayed by the clamor of the crowd or the weight of expectation. They flow from an internal gyroscope, a mechanism of self-trust honed through relentless introspection and logic. He doesn't reject external voices out of arrogance, but because they're irrelevant to the principles he's forged in the crucible of his own reasoning. His world stands on a foundation of bedrock truths he defines and defends with surgical precision, rendering the fleeting opinions of others as nothing more than background static. This isn't defiance for the sake of defiance. It's operational efficiency, a refusal to waste energy on sandcastles of validation that crumble under scrutiny. Picture a lone submarine gliding through the depths of a turbulent sea. The surface is chaotic, waves of societal pressure crashing, currents of expectation pulling in every direction. But below, the Sigma navigates with silent purpose. He doesn't rely on external charts or fleeting trends to guide him. His course is plotted by coordinates only he can see: logic, integrity, and an uncompromising commitment to his own sense of right. This autonomy isn't just a preference. It's his shield against manipulation, his superpower in a world that thrives on conformity. Others may chase fleeting rewards like status or praise, but he moves with a clarity that makes him untouchable, his decisions rooted in a truth that answers only to him. This inner compass is forged through relentless self-examination, a stoic discipline of questioning not just the world but himself. He audits his beliefs, tests his assumptions, and discards what doesn't hold up under scrutiny. It's not enough to be independent. He must be right by his own exacting standards. Doubt isn't a weakness, it's a tool, a honing stone that keeps his judgment sharp. This process isn't loud or performative. It's a quiet, internal ritual that ensures his path remains true, even when the world screams for him to veer off course. For the Sigma, this unshakable core isn't about isolation, it's about liberation. By anchoring himself to his own principles, he moves through life unburdened by the need to please or conform. He's not swayed by flattery or deterred by criticism, because his validation comes from within. This is the Stoic ideal of self-mastery in action. A man who knows his worth, not because others affirm it, but because he's measured it himself. At Sigma Male Community we celebrate this relentless self-reliance. Join us as we unpack the next layer of this mindset. 2. Solitude, the strategic power plant. Don't mistake the Sigma's solitude for loneliness. It's his high-octane refinery, a deliberate retreat where raw observation is distilled into piercing insight. While others drown in the chaos of the crowd, seeking energy in endless noise, he finds power in silence. This isn't withdrawal from the world, it's a strategic recalibration, a mental maintenance session that sharpens his focus and recharges his clarity. Solitude is where he processes the world's data, strips away distractions, and forges a resolve that burns like a controlled flame. Imagine a command center hidden deep underground, where every screen displays raw, unfiltered data. This is the Sigma's mind in solitude, free from the static of social posturing or the drain of meaningless chatter. Here he runs complex algorithms of thought, analyzing patterns, refining strategies, and optimizing his perception with chilling precision. This isn't escapism, it's a deliberate act of mental engineering, preserving the bandwidth needed for his unique mode of operation. He emerges from these moments not diminished, but weaponized with focus, ready to act with devastating clarity. This solitude is a Stoic practice of intentional detachment, a recognition that true strength lies in mastering one's own mind before engaging the world. The Sigma doesn't retreat because he's weak. He retreats because he knows the herd's energy is a vampire, sapping clarity and resolve. By stepping away, he protects his mental sovereignty, ensuring his decisions remain untainted by external noise. It's a disciplined choice, one that demands the courage to stand alone and the wisdom to know when silence is more powerful than speech. At its core, this strategic solitude is about power to think clearly, to plan meticulously, to act decisively. The Sigma male understands that the world's demands are relentless, but his peace is non-negotiable. By carving out this sacred space, he ensures his mind remains a fortress, impregnable to the chaos that surrounds him. Sigma male community is built for men who see solitude not as a burden, but as a source of unmatched strength. Let's keep diving deeper. 3. The long game architect. The Sigma male doesn't react impulsively, he plays a chess game the rest of the world barely notices. Every move, no matter how subtle, is a calculated piece on a vast, internal board only he fully comprehends. He observes patterns others overlook, listens far more than he speaks, and absorbs data like a sponge, all before acting with devastating purpose. Patience isn't passivity, it's the weaponization of time, a disciplined choice to forego the cheap thrill of immediate reaction for the profound satisfaction of a perfectly executed long-term strategy. Picture a master strategist standing before a map, plotting a campaign that spans years. While others broadcast their intentions with reckless noise, the Sigma operates in silence, his actions interconnected steps in a plan that unfolds with surgical precision. His restraint isn't indecision, it's the mark of a mind that sees the bigger picture, connecting dots invisible to those chasing fleeting winds. When his strategy comes to fruition, others call it luck. But he knows it's the result of meticulous design, a quiet triumph of foresight over frenzy. This approach is deeply stoic, rooted in the understanding that time is a resource to be mastered, not a tyrant to be feared. The Sigma doesn't let the urgency of the moment dictate his actions. He steps back, assesses, and acts only when the moment aligns with his broader vision. This discipline requires sacrificing the dopamine hit of instant gratification, but the reward is far greater. A life shaped by intentional choices, not reactive chaos. His enigmatic aura comes from this unseen depth, a quiet confidence that unnerves those accustomed to louder, shallower displays. For the Sigma, the long game is a way of life, a testament to his commitment to rational thinking and self-mastery. He builds his world one deliberate move at a time, each action a brick in a fortress only he fully understands. At Sigma Male Community, we honor this strategic brilliance, this refusal to be rushed or rattled. Stay with us as we uncover more of the Sigma Psyche's quiet power. 4. Non-conformity as core logic. The Sigma male doesn't reject rules to be rebellious. He audits them with ruthless clarity. Does a social norm serve a purpose he respects? Does a hierarchy align with his reasoned principles? If not, he steps around it, carving a parallel path defined by efficacy and internal congruence. His loyalty isn't to tradition or expectation, but to a personal code forged in the fire of logic and self-awareness, a constitution written in the quiet chambers of his mind. This isn't chaos or posturing, it's hyper-rational optimization, a stoic refusal to waste energy on systems that don't serve his truth. He sees the invisible cages others embrace, status games, performative rituals, ladders leaning against the wrong walls, and chooses the freedom outside. Why play a game with rigged rules? Why climb a hierarchy that demands his soul as collateral? His nonconformity is a declaration of sovereignty, a silent vow to live by metrics he alone defines. Picture a man walking through a crowded marketplace, untouched by the clamor of vendors peddling shiny distractions. He moves with purpose not because he's above others, but because he's aligned with something deeper. His choices, where to invest his time, his energy, his loyalty, are guided by a relentless question. Does this make sense for me? This disciplined reasoning sets him apart, not as a contrarian, but as a man who refuses to betray his own logic for the sake of fitting in. At Sigma Male Community, we see this nonconformity as the ultimate act of courage. The courage to question, to reject what's hollow, and to build a life that answers only to your own reasoned truth. The Sigma doesn't need to shout his independence. He lives it step by deliberate step. Let's explore the next facet of his psyche. 5. Adaptability, the silent evolution. The Sigma male knows that clinging to a fixed identity is a trap. The world is fluid, and mastery demands constant recalibration. He sheds outdated habits, roles, or even self-concepts with the quiet detachment of a snake leaving its skin behind. This isn't indecision, it's supreme situational awareness, a stoic embrace of change as an inevitable variable in the equation of effective existence. Imagine a warrior navigating a shifting battlefield. When the terrain changes, he doesn't dig in out of stubborn pride. He repositions, adapting his strategy to the new reality. The Sigma's mental agility allows him to discard what no longer serves his core objectives, whether it's a limiting belief, a draining relationship, or an obsolete goal. This fluidity isn't weakness, it's pragmatism, a refusal to let rigidity sabotage his path to peace or purpose. This adaptability is rooted in Stoic wisdom, the understanding that control lies not in resisting change, but in mastering your response to it. The Sigma observes, learns, and adjusts without fanfare or existential crisis. He doesn't mourn the loss of old skins. He sees them as evidence of growth, markers of a mind that evolves in step with reality. His strength lies in his ability to rebuild himself, quietly and efficiently, to meet the demands of an ever-changing world. For the Sigma, adaptability is a silent evolution, a commitment to staying sharp in a world that dulls the unprepared. At Sigma Male Community, we celebrate this relentless flexibility, this refusal to be anchored by what no longer serves. Keep watching as we peel back more layers of the Sigma mindset. The core shift, why you're really watching. You're not here for labels or fleeting trends, you're here because you sense something deeper, a resonance with a mindset that defies the factory settings of society. The Sigma pursuit isn't about dominating others, it's about sovereignty over the self, a relentless excavation of internal truth and the courage to live by it no matter the noise. Whether you see your own reflection in these principles or you're deciphering the enigma of a Sigma in your life, this is about understanding the raw mechanics of a mind that operates on its own frequency. Forget alpha posturing or beta compliance. This is the quiet, unassailable power of a consciousness calibrated to its own purpose, and Sigma Male Community is your guide to unlocking that strength. 6. Leadership. Influence without the crown. The Sigma male doesn't chase titles or thrones, his leadership emerges from undeniable competence and an unshakable presence that commands respect without demand. He leads not by shouting orders but by embodying the standard, focused, effective, and unflappable. People gravitate to him not because he seeks followers, but because his clarity of thought and precision of action are magnetic. His authority is earned through results, not declared through dominance. Picture a quiet craftsman in a workshop, his every move deliberate, his work impeccable. Others watch, learn, and follow, not because he demands it but because his mastery is undeniable. The Sigma's influence is distilled to its purest form. No speeches, no posturing, just the gravitational pull of a man who lives his principles with unwavering consistency. In a team, he becomes the silent center, elevating those around him by example, not edict. This leadership is deeply stoic, rooted in the principle that true power lies in self-mastery, not control over others. The Sigma doesn't need to manipulate or cajole. His quiet certainty and proven results speak louder than any title. He proves that influence isn't about volume, it's about substance, a disciplined focus on the mission that inspires others to rise to his level. His presence alone sets the tone, pulling others toward excellence. At Sigma Male Community, we celebrate this understated power, this ability to lead through action and integrity. The Sigma male redefines leadership as a byproduct of living authentically, not a crown to be chased. Stay with us as we explore the next layer of his psyche. 7. Demolishing the cold robot myth. The idea that a Sigma male is an emotionless machine is a lazy stereotype, a projection by those who can't fathom his control. He feels deeply, perhaps more intensely than most, given his acute powers of observation. But unlike others, he doesn't let emotions hijack his actions. He masters the stoic art of detachment, treating feelings as data to be analyzed, not tyrants to obey. His strength lies in navigating the storm without losing the helm. Imagine a forge where raw emotion, anger, passion, empathy, is hammered into something purposeful. The Sigma doesn't suppress his feelings, he channels them through a filter of reason. Anger becomes focused energy for change, not reckless outbursts. Empathy sharpens his discernment in relationships, not blind attachment. Passion fuels disciplined action, not chaotic flailing. This isn't denial, it's a sophisticated emotional architecture that integrates feeling with intellect. This mastery requires discipline, a stoic commitment to understanding the self before reacting to the world. The Sigma knows that unchecked emotions lead to impulsive mistakes, so he pauses, assesses, and acts with intention. His calm isn't coldness, it's clarity, the result of a mind that refuses to be enslaved by fleeting impulses. He feels the fire but controls the flame, turning raw emotion into refined power. At Sigma Male Community, we reject the myths and embrace the truth. The Sigma's emotional depth is his strength, not a weakness to be hidden. His ability to feel deeply and act rationally sets him apart as a man of true mastery. Let's keep unpacking this mindset. 8. Relationships, the high-stakes audit. For the Sigma male, relationships aren't a default. They're a high-stakes investment, subject to rigorous due diligence. He connects only where authenticity and mutual respect run deep, rejecting superficial chatter, draining drama, or transactional bonds with zero tolerance. His peace is non-negotiable currency, and he guards it fiercely, walking away from toxicity without hesitation. Being alone is infinitely preferable to being surrounded by noise that masks profound loneliness. Picture a gatekeeper standing before a fortress, evaluating every entrant with unrelenting scrutiny. The Sigma standards for connection are stratospheric, not out of arrogance but out of profound self-respect. He values depth over breadth, substance over spectacle, and he's unafraid to cut ties that violate his core integrity or sap his energy. His circle is small because he knows true connection is rare, and he refuses to settle for less. This selectivity is a stoic exercise in prioritizing inner peace over external pressure. The Sigma understands that relationships, like any investment, must align with his values and purpose. He doesn't fear solitude, he embraces it as a space to recharge and refine his focus. By choosing quality over quantity, he builds bonds that enhance his life, not drain it, a testament to his commitment to living intentionally. At Sigma Male Community, we honor this disciplined approach to connection, this refusal to compromise on what matters most. The Sigma's relationships reflect his strength, authentic, purposeful, and built on mutual respect. Let's dive into the next pillar. 9. The arrogance fallacy exposed. The Sigma's quiet independence is often mistaken for arrogance, but that's the observer's misstep, not his flaw. He doesn't operate from a place of superiority over others. He operates from a place of sufficiency within himself. His confidence isn't about diminishing others, it's about standing tall on his own foundation, unconcerned with seeking permission or applause. What others call arrogance is simply the calm of a man secure in his own judgment. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves, its light steady and unyielding. The Sigma doesn't need to prove he's better. He invests his energy in being better by his own exacting standards. His focus is internal mastery, not external comparison. The world's obsession with validation holds no sway over him. He measures himself against his own principles, not the applause of the crowd. This intrinsic confidence is a stoic virtue, a rejection of the need for external affirmation in favor of self-defined worth. The Sigma doesn't waste energy on performative displays or status games. He channels it into refining his craft, sharpening his mind, and living his truth. The discomfort others feel in his presence is often their own insecurity reflected back, mistaking his self-containment for condescension. At Sigma Male Community, we see through the fallacy and celebrate the Sigma's quiet strength. His confidence isn't a weapon, it's a shield, protecting his peace and purpose from the noise of the world. Let's explore the next piece of his psyche. 10. Purpose, the unseen engine. The Sigma male isn't driven by status symbols or fleeting applause. His fuel is a deeper, often private, purpose. Whether it's building something meaningful, solving complex problems, or pursuing internal peace, this intrinsic drive powers his every move. It's invisible to most, but its force is undeniable, propelling him forward with a quiet intensity that others can only marvel at. His success is measured not by society's metrics, but by his own internal benchmarks. Picture an engine humming beneath the surface, its power felt but rarely seen. The Sigma's purpose isn't shouted from rooftops, it's lived in the disciplined pursuit of his craft, the relentless refinement of his mind, or the quiet satisfaction of aligning action with principle. Recognition is irrelevant if the work lacks personal meaning. He finds fulfillment in the process itself, in the challenge of creating something true to his vision. This purpose-driven life is a Stoic ideal, the understanding that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with one's own reason principles. The Sigma doesn't drift aimlessly, chasing external validation. He moves with intention, guided by a code that answers only to him. This internal compass shields him from the existential voids that plague those tethered to society's fleeting rewards. At Sigma Male Community, we champion this relentless drive, this commitment to a purpose that burns brighter than any spotlight. The Sigma's engine runs on meaning, not applause, and it's what makes him unstoppable. Let's uncover the final pillar. 11. The quiet impact, power beyond decibels. Never mistake the Sigma's silence for weakness. His power radiates through focused action, impeccable results, and the undeniable gravity of a centered mind. He builds empires without fanfare, solves crises without seeking credit, and inspires change not through speeches, but through the potent example of a life lived authentically. His influence doesn't need volume, it's felt in the stability he creates and the problems he resolves unseen. Picture a still lake, its surface calm but its depths teeming with life. The Sigma's impact is like this, quiet, profound, and far-reaching. He doesn't chase the spotlight. His work speaks for itself, elevating everything around him through sheer competence and discipline. He redefines power not as dominance or noise, but as the ability to execute vision with precision, protect peace with ferocity, and navigate the world with unassailable sovereignty. This quiet impact is a Stoic triumph, a testament to the principle that true strength lies in doing what's right, not what's loud. The Sigma's legacy isn't written in declarations but in deeds. The businesses he builds, the lives he touches, the clarity he brings to chaos. His influence lingers long after he's gone, a ripple effect that proves silence can be louder than any shout. At Sigma Male Community, we celebrate this understated power, this ability to move mountains without raising a voice. The Sigma Male proves that true impact doesn't need decibels. It needs discipline, intention, and an unwavering commitment to living authentically. Join us as we close out this journey. You've just walked through the 11 pillars of the Sigma Male Psyche, a mindset that thrives on self-mastery, resilience, and unrelenting purpose. This isn't just a breakdown, it's a blueprint for men who choose to forge their own path, who refuse to bend to the noise of the world, who live by a code that answers only to their own truth. At Sigma Male Community, we're here to fuel that journey, to provide the wisdom and guidance you need to embody this unshakable strength. Take these principles, reflect on them, and apply them to your life, because the Sigma mindset isn't about being perfect. It's about being deliberate, authentic, and unstoppable. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button to show your support, drop a comment with your thoughts or experiences, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. If you're subscribed, make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss the wisdom we're dropping here. Sigma Male Community is your home for growth, independence, and Stoic excellence. Let's keep building this together. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and we'll see you in the next one.